Good morning, one and all. Today, I'm Dr. Jagdish, Senior Consultant AAG Hospitals. Today, the whole idea of doing this video is create a very strong and very huge awareness among what is happening in COVID illness, why people are suffering, what is our bothering, what are our fear complexes when it comes to COVID. For the past 2-3 months of experience in working with as a frontline warrior in the COVID ward, what I understood, what is the disease process, how best we can deal with it, and what a common person is supposed to know. This is what I'll just try to emphasize and make things clear. So firstly, I think you would have seen pretty good number of videos done by a lot of professionals. So I'll start with the symptomology. I think a lot of you people know, but still I would like to emphasize on all the symptoms because any early symptoms you identify, please approach the hospital at the earliest possible time. So what are the symptoms? Any person having fever, any person having body pains, headache, sore throat, dry cough. Along with this, people also can come present with weakness, nausea or vomiting like sensation, and frequency of loose stools, having loose motions. So these are the commonest symptoms what people are presenting with, and 15 to 20% of the people are also presenting with loss of sense of smell and loss of sense of taste. So any of these symptoms are there, please approach the hospital or the nearby doctor the earliest possible time. I mean to say within a day or two. Beyond, if you are delaying for 2 to 3 days, that is the crucial days which our body developing bad consequences. So I'll try to explain this. The first week of the infection we consider it to be because of viremia. The second week we consider it to be because of the inflammation or our body reaction to the virus. So the earliest you come to the hospital, we are avoiding our body inflammation or immunity reaction to the virus, which is the actual cause for the significant damage. So in other way, please come or approach the hospital or the doctor within first 3 days of your symptoms starting. Now coming to who has to get tested. This is the commonest doubt I see from a lot of patients. When should I get tested? Should I get tested or not? So if you ask me this, I will consider all the people into two categories. One thing is symptomatic and asymptomatic. Asymptomatic is nothing but no symptoms. So any person who has the symptoms whatever I discussed above, please, there is no doubt you have to get tested the earliest possible. And coming to no symptoms, so when you don't have symptoms, how could I test? Why should I test? This is the other doubt all the people have. When you don't have symptoms, we recommend people to get tested only if they have direct contact in a laboratory confirmed case, in the sense any one of your close contact, your office colleague or your family member whom you have spent more than 15 minutes to half an hour within a distance of 2 meters. So you are definitely supposed to get tested. So I think your doubt regarding who has to get tested is also clarified. All people who has the above said symptoms, please get tested, and any people who doesn't have symptoms but they have contact with the person who is already tested positive, you definitely have to get tested. Now immediately the next doubt is positive and negative. Yes, lot of people have, though their test comes negative, still the doctor telling you could be still positive. So these are the commonest doubts lot of people have. I'll just try to clarify with the information I have. So coming to positive and negative, we categorize the patient's patient's clinical features and laboratory methods, and the other is radiologically we do CT scan of the chest. So people who has symptoms, we do tests. So your tests again divided into a rapid antigen test, a rapid swab test, and RT-PCR test. So among all the tests, rapid swab test, which is RT-PCR, has more accuracy and reliability. Again, the reliability or accuracy of this test is also depends on which day you are approaching and who is doing it. The technique also is important. Many a times the technique, improper technique can give false negative. So false negative in the sense, though you are positive but your report showing negative test. So other thing is the HRCT, which is very more important. Usually the CT scan of the chest shows lot of ground glass opacities or appearances which doctor usually identifies, your radiologist. So based upon your clinical features, that is your symptoms, along with your blood test or the swab test, along with the CT scan, this three clubbed together, a doctor decides whether you are positive or negative. So please don't give much importance to one single report showing it is positive or showing it is negative. But what you have to understand is, usually any report saying positive, you have to give the priority for the positive report, because positives will be 90 to 99% positives until and unless the technique or the methodology is bad. But when it comes to negative report, the chances of you being still positive will be more than 50%. So what I mean to say, don't take it granted that your report has come negative, so you are okay. So your negative report, please discuss with your doctor. So whether doctor wants to check a CT scan, and CT scan and clinical features put together, if they want to still confirm you are negative, it is well and good. Otherwise, one single report of negative, I don't want to give the people that impression they are completely negative. So this is about positive and negative test. Next comes to who requires hospital admission. This is the commonest doubt lot of people have. So it depends upon which day you have approached to the hospital and what are your symptoms and what is your saturation. So the oxygen percentage present in your blood is checked through pulse oximeter. Based upon that, we identify which patient requires oxygen supplementation, and this patients whose saturation is definitely less than 92 to 90, we recommend hospital admission based upon your saturations. Apart from saturations, any significant clinical complaints like high temperature which is not coming down more than 101, which is not coming down for more than 48 hours, patients having breathing difficulty, patients having severe headache, all these patients we definitely recommend hospital admission. And along with that, based upon the laboratory criteria, any patients who have abnormal blood investigations like ferritin, D dimer, LDH and CRP, we assume that these patients might go a little sick. So that is the reason we might advise these patients to get admitted. So these are the commonest things where we recommend admission. In simpler language for common people, anyone who has high temperature for continuously more than 2 days, severe headache for continuously more than a day, and patients whose saturations are less than 92 to 90, definitely these patients require hospital admission. Now, is there a way to avoid hospital admission? Is there a way to avoid the disease progression to bad shape? Yes, we recommend any person having any symptoms, please approach your doctor, please approach any nearby hospital at the earliest time. That makes a lot of difference with every individual. So if you can approach to the hospital or the doctor in the first 1 day or 2 days of the symptomology, we can actually entirely change the course of the disease going to very bad shape to the best results. So I strongly convey this message or communicate to all the people that please approach your physician or the hospital within first 2 to 3 days of symptoms. The early you approach, the best results you get. Thank you.